There's some huge drama going on with a massive speedrunning YouTuber exposing a fake Shadows of Evil speedrun world record, and this morning the Zombies world record keeping website announced it's going to be shutting down again. I don't think there's been this much fresh information in a long time, so this is going to be fun. If you're not caught up on zombie speedrunning, the most popular way to speedrun is by trying to complete a map's main quest Easter egg as quickly as possible. Each map has their own leaderboard, and typically glitches are allowed. Side note, should they be allowed? Let me know in the comments. But zombie speedrunning has come a long way in the last few years, from a place where nobody cares about it and barely anyone played them, to now some records can get 1 million views and there's hundreds of active players. And one of the most popular maps to speedrun has become Shadows of Evil on Black Ops 3 because it's a great map with lots of potential for small time saving tricks. But with this popularity, there's always going to be people who try to exploit that for clout among other record players or views on YouTube, and this is where Speedrun Jesus himself, Carl Jobs, comes into the picture. He uploaded a video earlier today in collaboration with Bug of Cake and Freckleston exposing a recent Shadows of Evil solo Easter egg world record. And those two people are definitely qualified to talk about this because they're both high-level speedrunners across zombies, but especially on Shadows of Evil. So the story goes that this player named Prawley, who I've never heard of, broke the world record in early August with a time of 20 minutes and 8 seconds. He had only been submitting speedrun times since February of this year, but was improving his time so rapidly that something had to be going on. Within 3 months, he went from basically a time that I could get within a week of attempts to being 1 second away from the world record. That sort of improvement means you were either destined to be the best zombies player in history or you're cheating. Maybe with a less optimized map or one with more luck-based things going on, such as Moon with the excavators, it could be possible. With Shadows of Evil though, it's very well optimized and requires a lot of skill alongside some luck elements. What was also weird that Carl pointed out is that Prawley was submitting improved times a lot, sometimes on back-to-back days. That's weird because Shadows of Evil speedruns are basically resetting hell, and sometimes players can go weeks without getting a full run, let alone one with an improved time. This is because of gobblegum luck throughout the run and your first bug round needing to be on round 6, which I actually didn't know. There's also lots of tricks that have been added in the last year or so, using beast mode to access more areas in a shorter time that are insanely difficult and can be messed up so easily. You could also just screw up and die, or not kill the Margwa quickly enough, or brain fart and just not do the right thing. So many things can end zombie speedruns if you're playing at a top level like Prawley was claiming to. So over time, there just became more and more suspicion behind the scenes of players wondering if he was cheating. This was magnified when someone discovered that in each of his best time submissions, he was always getting the best gobblegum setup possible. Not just the first one, like you need to even get the run started, but 1 through 5 were all perfect each and every time. To get that in one personal best every couple of months after hundreds of attempts is fine when you're a top runner. Getting it in runs every couple of days just screams that something is fucked. There's a lot more to the story, and eventually Prawley was caught splicing footage together and using a mod to make sure he had perfect gobblegum and bug round luck. It was a fairly complex cheating scandal, with him spending those months sending footage of his times to friends and complaining about resets and bad luck in Discord just to build up his story even more. He was completely committed to this, even taking more time between PB games and making the time improvements smaller to not make it look so suspicious. And eventually he submitted his world record of 20 minutes and 8 seconds, which is 6 seconds faster than the real world record holder of Steve. This would be his downfall because at this point everyone decided to look at his footage and found the splicing mistake plus gobblegum inconsistencies. You guys should really check out Carl's video, by the way. There's a lot more to this, like I said, but he was caught by complete coincidence and him making a big mistake. Without that, he may never have been caught. There also seems to be someone cheating every couple of months in the zombies community right now, which is alarming because some communities can go years without anyone being exposed for it. And I think this is happening because zombies, in my opinion, is really easy to cheat at, with mods being used in many speedruns for a variety of reasons, like getting unlimited gobblegums in Black Ops 3. It's really easy to change small things without anyone ever noticing. I do think though that the mods are necessary because in order to play top level Shadows of Evil, you actually do need these gobblegums. There's also an old debate among high round players if a patch to Black Ops 1 should be used that gives you the map's wonder weapon in the first mystery box every time. The logic was that you're going to be doing thousands of mystery box spins anyway throughout the game, so you might as well get the first one easily to cut down on restarts. No sense in spending 2 hours to get a game started when you're most likely going to need to reset before round 50 or 100 a lot of the time anyway. Some players have even been caught cheating in the past though, this way, using mods to change their mystery box luck just enough that it wasn't super obvious, but it definitely benefited them. So modding in the Zombies community is not a new thing. People have been doing it for as long as world records have been going on. There's also the difficulty of catching the cheaters at all. In speedruns, it's slightly easier because the matches are usually between 5 minutes to about an hour long. Most people could script through that footage who have enough knowledge of the speedrun to spot some inconsistency if there is one. Some players also have insane knowledge of individual maps and can give you detailed breakdowns of cheats that you or I would never notice. But high rounds can be over 100 hours long, and I sincerely doubt that moderators are watching every single second of the matches to see if there's something fishy going on. Luckily for high rounds, it's changed a lot from 10 years ago where God mode used to be an issue. Now high rounds are almost speedruns in a way because there's no way to get the record without actually being good and playing quickly before the game hits its reset time or crashes. That means we only really need to worry about changing things like box luck and maybe having demigod mode, but that's really kind of a stretch. But with this newfound popularity of zombie speedruns and the general continued popularity of Black Ops 3, this is definitely not the last time someone's going to be caught cheating. Probably claims it wasn't done for clout, which I have no idea about honestly, but there is people who would use it to gain a big audience and potentially make thousands of dollars if their record happened to go viral like some of the other ones have. I mean, look at Syndicate's round 115 on Kino der Toten as an example. Between all the videos in that series, it has about 20 million views, which is close to half of the total my entire channel has. But it was cheated, and because no one figured it out for a decade, it propelled him to even more fame and popularity than he was already getting. Someone else could definitely use that same strategy to get their channel going. There are literally hundreds of different categories to compete in across zombies that can be played on 3 different generations of consoles plus PC, and each one of them has their own individual quirks. And that's why we also need to talk about the world record keeping website for the community. Zombies World Records has been around in some form for an incredibly long time. It used to be called Zombie Records before rebranding, if you're more familiar with that name. This is where Zombies players would submit their full gameplay to the website, it would be reviewed, and then placed on the leaderboard if approved. The Zombies community doesn't use something like speedrun.com because we also need boards for high rounds. Most Zombies fans have probably heard of this website at some point, and on there you can find leaderboards for every speedrun or high round on every single map that's ever been released. It's seen as the authority for these things by a lot of casual people because it has been around for a long time and has a team of moderators who are high-level players themselves and can validate records. However, what most people don't know is that many world record players also choose not to submit to the website anymore and have not for years for a variety of reasons. Firstly, the ownership of the website has changed so many times, more than I can even get into here because I don't even know all of them. Each owner has had their own vision for the website, changing things and mod teams and community relations. Some of them also just don't get along with the players in general. At one time, they were adding records to their leaderboards without the game being submitted to the website and then uploading YouTube videos with highlights of that game that wasn't submitted. But the biggest controversy around them is that 2 of their owners have been caught cheating in world record games themselves. Both of them were years ago and both were high round matches. I'm not going to name them here, but that sort of thing really hurts the reputation of your website if not even the owners are playing legit games. How can you trust them to check submissions carefully or maybe not cover up for their mods who might have submitted modded gameplay to the website themselves? This puts the community and players in a position where cheaters are running the world record website, they're getting away with cheating for months or sometimes even years, and there's no easy way to fix it. So when ZWR announced this morning that for like the 87th time they're finally shutting down, I just rolled my eyes. Personally, I haven't used it or been a fan of the website for years. I could pretty much make a whole video talking about the reasons for that, but honestly, fuck them. It is a shame though that things have turned out this way. Zombies does need a place to keep track of all of the current records, times, and placements. Many people have tried to start competing websites in the past, but none have really made it big simply because there's not a lot of money in it to be made. You also need a lot of trusted moderators willing to spend a lot of their free time checking footage, making rules, and then playing the games themselves. A few years ago, I thought about starting a record website myself, but the more that I looked into it, the more it became unobtainable. It would cost me thousands of dollars that I don't have, and it's just a huge effort to keep up every single day. Maybe someone like Noah J could dump money into it, but even then it would be hard and he would just keep losing money unless he made reaction videos of records that are submitted. But then players wouldn't submit and it's a whole big mess. Basically what I'm trying to say is fuck cheaters. We shouldn't even be in this situation. If you're that desperate to break a world record, then look yourself in the mirror and learn that you are wasting your life. Use that time on something a bit more productive or wise like tax evasion. And this is only going to become more of a pressing issue as we get closer to COD 2024, where there's going to be a lot more people coming back to the Zombies community, wanting to play, wanting to try for world records, kind of like what happened with Cold War when it came out. There was people like Tfue going for world records on D Machine at the time. Like, there is a huge influx of people around when new Treyarch games come out, so I'm kind of worried that if there isn't some sort of way for people to get this information, then it's going to cause problems at that point. But that's my rant. If you're a little drama goblin who likes seeing world record drama, then check out this video on the screen where I discuss the around 250,000 fake world record. There's a lot of wild shit that people have claimed to have done in Zombies. Thank you so much for watching, you absolute legends. Bye-bye.